everybody. Happy 2017. I am so excited that it is the new year. And I have to tell you, I have been anticipating using my new planner and starting on my new goals and kind of having this fresh start since like October. And not to say that I haven't been like keeping up with the goals that I had in 2016 and just like washed it all off until 2017 started. But I have been excited. I got my new planner back in October, and so I just always look forward to starting a fresh new planner. So in today's video, I wanted to chat about New Year's resolutions or goal setting. And I know that there's a plethora of information out there on how to make goals and what creates a good goal versus not a good goal and the SMART goals idea. And although all that information is great and everything is out there, sometimes I find some encouragement or help in listening to what other people have created for their New Year's resolutions. And it helps me narrow it down when I hear or read what other people are doing. So I thought I would get online today and just kind of share in a video some of the things that I am doing in 2017 to be better or more organized, and some goals I have set for myself. And I also wanted to review the SMART goals process. If you haven't heard of that before or are not familiar with it, then this will be a good review of kind of what makes a good goal and how to achieve setting goals and then not being discouraged when they're not, when they don't come to fruition. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my friends, so let's talk about goal setting. I am a very goal-oriented person, and I think I have been for a really long time. I enjoy making lists. I enjoy checking those lists off. I make long-term goals. I make short-term goals. I make goals at the beginning of each week. I make goals at the beginning of each month. And of course, when an annual goal comes around, I'm always really excited to kind of plan out some big major components to my life that I want to increase or improve or organize. So this year was a little bit different than years I have done in the past because I decided I was going to be a little bit more mindful of creating SMART goals. If you haven't heard of using SMART goals before, it's an acronym, and SMART, each represents a different word that helps us create a more manageable goal. So S is for specific. Are you creating goals that have a specific category or are narrowed down to something that you can identify clearly? Saying I'm going to lose weight in 2017 is not a specific goal. A specific goal would be I'm going to weigh this amount of weight, or I'm going to lose X number of pounds, or whatever. So you want it to be specific. That's the S. M for SMART is measurable. How are you going to know when that goal is achieved? So for example, with weight loss, if you choose or you attain that number that you wanted to, then you will know that it's finished. You can measure that. If it's that you want to, I don't know, reorganize your pantry, how are you going to know that it is measurable, that you have completed it? You can't just walk into your pantry and do a corner and be like, oh, well, I did organize this corner. You need to make sure that it's measurable and that you have an idea of an overall plan so that you can then assign different tasks, okay? Okay, SMA. A is for achievable. Can you actually do this goal? So for me, if I wanted to say I'm gonna lose 57 pounds this year, that's not an achievable goal for me because I don't have 57 pounds that I feel I want to lose. My number is not that big. So it's not an achievable, therefore it's not motivating for me. So make sure that it's something that you can in fact achieve. Do I want to eventually travel all of Europe over the course of a month? Of course, I think that would be a really fun trip to be able to do again. However, I can't do that at this chapter of my life because I have 2 young children, I'm running a household, I do school time, all of the components of my life are too busy that achieving that goal is not realistic, okay? Which leads us to the next letter in the acronym, which is R. A SMART goal needs to be realistic. Is it something that you can fiscally, mentally, spiritually, can you achieve that goal? So make sure that it is a realistic goal. So for us, my husband and I had a conversation about our goals last night, and something that came up was how often we go out to eat. This is a habit that we have formed that we're not super thrilled about and that we don't necessarily want to continue in 2017. So when talking about a goal, it is not realistic for us to say we are not eating out in 2017. 0 restaurants. That's not realistic. One, because as a part of my enjoyment, I derive joy from going out to eat with my family. I find it as a joyful activity. So to cut it out completely is not, it's not doable or realistic, because I know there will come seasons of life where I am just throwing up my arms saying, dinner is not happening tonight, let's go out and have an enjoyable meal. We like to go out to dinner and a movie as a date. It's like a token phrase or a cliche phrase because it's fun. I enjoy doing it. So anyway, that's kind of a long-winded answer, but make sure that you do have a realistic goal and you set it within the time, like a lifestyle that you're comfortable with, you're familiar with, and that kind of fits in your life, okay? The last E, or the last for a SMART goal, is the letter T, and this is one that I often forget, but it is the most important, or very important rather, and that is that it's time, or it's measurable by time. Put a date on it. Make sure that it's due on XYZ, and you don't necessarily want to say December 31st, 2017 is the due date of this assignment, but you want to break it down into small, manageable pieces that can then have due dates assigned to them. So if you have a goal of weight loss, you need to break it down into small pound or small, I don't want to say chunks because that's not appropriate with weight loss, but you know what I'm saying. You just want to have like small goals that you can then get to, and as you reach those benchmarks, you can reward yourself appropriately, okay? So with that introduction to SMART goals, I decided to attack my goal setting in more of a SMART manner. And I have 5 areas of my life that I set goals in every year. I really enjoy doing areas of my life because I have lots of goals that I like to set. Like I mentioned, I'm a very goal-oriented person, so to focus on different parts of my life, I find joy in doing that and I derive satisfaction. Now, I will say, kind of as a disclaimer, that sometimes people don't like to set a lot of goals. Maybe you feel overwhelmed by them, or maybe you feel like a failure when December 7th hits and you've already failed that goal. If that's your personality and you can see yourself going down that road, then minimize what your goals are and make them more manageable for you. If, having 15 goals, or you've decided I'm gonna make the bed every morning and then on January 2nd you don't make the bed, then you feel discouraged and you feel overwhelmed and you just want to toss them all out the window because, well, if I can't make the bed, then of course I'm not going to be able to make dinner every night for a whole year. So anyway, just be realistic and give yourself grace and give yourself a little bit of encouragement so you can do this. And it's a lifelong process. It's a journey. It's not something that's going to be perfected, but the application of and just the effort of trying will be rewarded, and you will see that reward as you progress throughout the year. Okay, so let's talk about some of the goals that I have made. Now, I share this with you again in hopes that maybe it will spark some inspiration for yourself, or sometimes I have a goal in my brain that I'm like, I know I want to do it, but I don't know how to verbalize it, and then I'll hear somebody else who has a similar goal verbalize it, and I think, oh, okay, like that resonates with me. I understand how to do that. And I'll give you an example of that here in a little bit when I share my goals, okay? So my 5 categories. I do categories. My first is spiritual. I'm not going to be able to remember them right off the top of my head, so I might have to glance down and look. Okay, so the first one is spiritual. I make 2 or 3 spiritual goals that are specific and measurable, achievable, realistic, and time sensitive, okay? The second one is physical. Physically, how do I want to change in the course of 2016, 17 now? The third are my hobbies. What are some things that I enjoy doing that I want to practice or perfect during the next year? So hobbies is the third. The fourth is my home and family. This is things of how do I want to organize my home? How do I want to focus on my family? What are some new traditions I want to start? Those types of things are for home and family. And then my last one are my wishes. Some grandiose, out-of-the-box thing that I want to accomplish in 2017. I write it down and I put it on paper because if for no other reason than at the end of the year or in 15 years when I look back, I'll think, remember when I wished that I could do that and then I got to do it 4 or 5 or whatever years later. I really believe like if you don't put your wishes down on paper and you don't actually like manifest that they're going to happen, then they never will, because you'll have them on the back shelf of your life collecting dust and never actually being achieved. So I put my wishes down as a part of my 2017 goals. Okay, so those are them: spiritual, physical, home and family, hobbies, and wishes. I forgot the last one. Okay, so here are my suggestions for my spiritual goals. I always want to read the word for at least 20 minutes a day. I put 20 minutes as my time sensitive or my time component to the SMART goals, because in recent years I haven't been very consecutive. I feel like if I don't, I'm kind of an all or nothing person when it comes to reading the scriptures and kind of diving into the Word of God. I often feel that if I don't get in my full 30 minutes or like a really good deep 45 minutes of study, that I don't do it at all, because, well, I can't get it all in. So anyway, my life is very busy. My children are very early risers. I myself like to pride myself that I am an early riser, but I'm not like a 4 in the morning early riser. Well, when my children are out of bed and ready for a day at 6 in the morning, it is hard for me to get up so many additional hours earlier so that I can be ahead of them. So in all of that being said, I've decided I'm going to make an effort for 20 minutes. I think that that's realistic given the chapter of life that I'm in, and it's time sensitive, or there's time attached to it so that I can check it off and know when I've completed it. And I do have a goal to do it every single day. I'm not sure how realistic that is, because my life has always ebbed and flowed, but that's the great thing about life, is that you have 100 million chances to do it over and try again and try to be more perfect. So anyway, those are a couple of things that I have for my specific goals. Something else is very specific to my faith and my religion. I live in an area where I live close to one of the temples of our Lord, and it is within our faith, or we believe that we attend the temples to just participate in ordinances and be reminded of life, and just kind of, I don't know, have this great spirit about us again as we forge in this sometimes scary world that we live in. So because I live really close, I feel like I need to attend more frequently than I have, so I have made a goal to do so. I've set up with a friend in my neighborhood to do a kid swap so that we can each attend with our spouses, and yet we don't have to pay for babysitters, because sometimes my babysitter budget, I feel, is such a sacred little pocket of money that to spend it on a 3-hour trip to the temple, I don't know, maybe that's bad, but anyway, so for those of you who are of my faith, then you can understand and resonate with what I'm saying. But if you're not, then maybe you have some other, I don't know, spiritual retreat or something that you like to do on a fairly regular basis, that you can kind of correlate with what I'm saying here. So anyway, so those are just some ideas for a spiritual goal that I'm going to try to achieve. Okay, so my physical goals. I've always got physical goals, right? Like, I need to be more optimally healthy. Take Shape for Life is a program that is kind of created by a man his name is Dr. Anderson, I think, but everyone calls him Dr. A, and he has coined this phrase called optimal health. Now, I don't use the Take Shape for Life dieting program or health program, but I do resonate really well with a lot of the topics and encouragement that they share. One of those being optimal health. So I took that and I kind of divided it up into a couple of categories for me. One was to like get optimal sleep and having a healthy sleep habit. So I gave myself a bedtime and I gave myself an alarm in the morning time so that I'm getting what I consider to be optimal rest each night, so that I can be a better mom and a better spouse and a better person in the morning. So optimal sleep was one. And then of course I do have goals for weight loss. I have my Wellness Wednesday series that I will continue throughout 2017 with just tips and conversation and just getting out in the open some of the things I'm experiencing with trying to have a more healthy life. I did not make a goal about physical activity, but it's kind of incorporated in my health, in like losing weight, just because that's part of losing weight. So anyway, so those are some ideas, and they're not unique per se or anything like that. Let me just double check here and see. Oh, one of the things that I did decide to do that I wrote down was I wanted to participate in a 30-day challenge this year. And I'm not exactly sure what that 30-day challenge is going to be yet or when it will take place, but occasionally on my Pinterest feed, I will see like a suggestion for a 30-day challenge, like do these series of ab workouts every day for 30 days, or the Better Body System has like DVDs that you can purchase that have 30-day challenges. So like do T25 for 30 days, or do Insanity for 30 days. Or maybe I'm going to, I don't know, join a running club for 30 days or something like that. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of a fun physical goal that I'm gonna make, a 30-day commitment to something. So, and then one other thing I keep coming to my mind as I wanted to mention about physical activity. In having a conversation with my husband last night, we were trying to discuss activities other than running on the treadmill that we enjoy, because physical activity really is so much more than just exercising per se. And so anyway, I would just throw that out there, that as a part of creating your physical goals, really brainstorm, and maybe this year you'll want to find an activity other than the everyday running, which is like everybody's automatic go-to, like I'm gonna exercise, I better go running. Anyway, so just think of something else that you like to do. And for me, that was hiking. I really enjoy hiking outside and being in the outdoors with my family. So that, I hadn't really considered that until we had that conversation last night. So I would encourage you as like a physical goal to write down something, some kind of physical activity that maybe you want to explore or try or do something new, just to see if you enjoy it more. And maybe you already know what that physical activity is, so you can write that down. But if you don't, you might want to try some different things and see, because there's lots of things that can be done and count as quote exercise, but it doesn't mean you have to like put on your running shoes and hit the neighborhood pavement for 30 minutes. So anyway, so that was that. Number 3 is home and family. So I have to look at my paper because I can't really remember them all. Okay, so my home and family, one of the things I wanted to do this year is I'm gonna have a spending freeze 1 week each month. That's 12 spending freeze, guys. Is this realistic? I don't know. Like when you think of it as a SMART goal, it's going to be a challenge. I've only done one spending freeze. You'll have to check that video. I did it last year and it was really an experience for me, and it was satisfying, and it really helped out our budget at the end of the month. So I've made a goal that I'm going to do 12 spending freezes during 2017, one every second week of the month. Check back as we go through the year. I'll have to, hopefully we'll see how it goes, but I am really motivated and really, I think we're gonna do well. So I wouldn't have made it a goal if I didn't think it was realistic. So, but it will be challenging, that is for sure, okay? All right, the other thing that I'm going to be doing, I have a couple of things for our homeschool that I'm really trying to focus on. So I'm trying to write a couple of new curriculum. I want to complete those and make them available for my friends and my family and you people out there who are looking for an unboxed curriculum, meaning you're not going to a curriculum distributor and purchasing all of these materials, but those of us who kind of try to piecemeal some things together and don't have large budgets, I want to create this curriculum. And so anyway, I have a goal to try and finish those curriculum. I also have goals to run a summer camp and a cooking class and all kinds of fun things in the neighborhood for my kids, and I just enjoy teaching so much. If you are new to my channel and you haven't heard me talk about it before, teaching is a passion of mine, so I'm always looking for opportunities to practice this skill and really engage in this skill because I do enjoy doing it. So anyway, so those are some things for home and family. Oh, I have a couple more. I know, I'm sorry. This is kind of like a sporadic video, but another one is to send birthday cards. Guys, I talked about this when I did my Christmas video several months ago, I guess it was. I love the U.S. Postal Service. I love receiving mail, but more than receiving it, I love writing letters. And it's not done very much, but I just love doing it. So I have some goals this year that have to do with the U.S. Postal Service. One is sending birthday cards both to my family and to my dear friends. I also want to write little notes to my friends, like handwritten notes to my friends about what in our lives that we have shared together is my favorite memory or my few favorite memories. Sometimes we do stuff like that on Facebook, and that's fun and fine, but I don't know. I like to write it down and have stickers and have a cute little note card with my name signed at the bottom, and I'm just old-fashioned that way, I guess. So anyway, I've created a goal there that I want to. It's kind of home and family, but it's kind of maybe a little bit under hobbies a little bit. But anyway, so that's a really fun thing that I'm excited to do over the course of the year, is to send letters and notes and cards to those people that I love. So anyway, so that's that. Let's talk about a little bit about my hobbies. Again, I have lots of hobbies. My plate is very full of hobbies that I'm trying to do. I mentioned briefly writing curriculum. One of the hobbies I'm gonna try and do this year is write a book. It will not be completed in 2017, but I do have goals to write a few chapters here and there every month. So I am gonna be writing a book, and the purpose of my book will be in conjunction with the title of my YouTube channel, which is Full Purpose and Heart. And it will just be ideas that I have implemented into my life and the benefit I have received from putting all of my energy, my full purpose, and all of my heart into raising my family and just enjoying the road as I do. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna be writing my book about this year, and that'll be fun. Another big hobby is scrapbooking. I love to take all of the pictures. I'm not a photographer by any means, but I do photograph my family and all of our adventures that we go on. So I like to compile those into annual yearbooks. And that probably I've been doing it because my mom did it forever. I have loads of scrapbooks that my mother handed over to me the day I got married, and of my whole childhood. And then when I taught public school, I was the yearbook advisor, and that's a whole nother conversation, but it really just ignited this desire. So I do digital scrapbooking now, and I really do love to do it. So anyway, that's another one. And then what's another one? Oh, hobbies. My YouTube channel is my hobby. I really do love sharing with everybody out there and to creating videos with tips and tricks and ideas and vlogs and all of those fun things that I like to do. I love to share my teaching style and ideas with the YouTube community. So I definitely have several specific and time-sensitive goals that are going to be a part of that. And I do consider this YouTube channel my hobby. So anyway, so it's fun for me and I enjoy doing it, and by no means is it, fantastic or over the top or professional or whatever, but I do love it and it's fun for me. So that's good. Okay, so my last one before this video gets to be terribly long are my wishes. And I do love having wishes and I look forward to them, and I'm actually really hopeful. They are realistic wishes. And so anyway, my first one is to go on a road trip to the Pacific Northwest. There's not very many roadblocks that would keep me from being able to do that, except maybe how many miles are on my van. My husband might lay down the law and say, nope, you can't take your van. And he'll tell me to take the little sedan that we have, but it's not the same. If I can't take my van, I don't know if I'll be as excited to go. But anyway, so I have plans for a big, long, 3-week road trip up the Pacific Northwest and visiting friends and family and sites and good things all along the way. So I did it last year when I drove to Arkansas and back. That was about, I don't even know how many miles, but it's like 20 hours to drive there, and I could not even tell you how much I loved it. So anyway, so I have that as one of my really big goals, is to go to the Pacific Northwest. Another really kind of wish or dream is to have a marriage retreat with my husband this year. And I don't know where we would go, and I'm not even sure how it would all come together, but I would just like to go, him and I, and we did go to Peru last year, but that was just such a busy trip that we didn't really have an opportunity to just connect and be together and kind of like a little honeymoon idea. By no means would it be as big as that, but so that's kind of like another little wish that I had. And then my last wish, I forgot, I have one more wish, is that a couple of years ago I started a nonprofit organization with my husband and a couple of friends, and I want to donate some of the money that I make from my little side jobs with preschool that I teach and summer camps that I run and different incomes that I kind of do and what I sell here on YouTube and on my website. I'm going to take a percentage of that profit. I'll take 10%, and I'm going to donate it to the Say Cheers Foundation. And this is the foundation that my family, my husband, and our friends, the Claysons, have started. And I'll have to talk more about it in another video because this video is going to get crazy long. But anyway, I'm going to donate a portion of all of the money that I make and into the Say Cheers Foundation so that we can gift a family at Christmas time something about Disney. So whether it's like a Disney gift box, or if we can get enough money pooled together, then we'll be able to do like a gift a trip to Disneyland, which is the purpose of the foundation. So anyway, that's a whole nother video. We'll have to talk about it on another day. But guys, I love goal setting and I'm very excited about 2017. And even though it's the second day in January and I'm already derailed a little bit from some of my goals, it's taking me a little bit of momentum to kind of get on board with changing some of the habits that I've been so accustomed to in the last couple of weeks. Christmas kind of did me in for sure. I took 2 weeks off for Christmas, basically from life. So starting today is a little bit slow, but I am excited and I hope that you're excited. I love starting fresh. Do not get discouraged if you falter. That is what life is all about, is just picking ourselves back up and continuing to push forward, because it's when we give up that really all things have failed. If we stop trying, then we have failed. But if we don't stop trying, it's not a failure. Just pick yourself up and keep going, because what is that saying they say? Like, as long as you're moving slow, you're at least moving. You're moving faster than the guy who's sitting on the couch. So anyway, may you have a blessed 2017. May all of your wishes come true, and hopefully you can find yourself in a better place in December than you have found yourself at the beginning of the year. And I do plan, as the months come to an end, to catch up with you and like check in and tell you how my goal setting has gone. So make sure you check back and we'll do those videos as well. Subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to follow along with my 2017 journey, give me a like, a little thumbs up down on the bottom if you liked it, and make sure you have a very happy new year. Have a good one, guys.